Good morning, everybody. Happy Tu Bishvat. Today is the Jewish holiday of Tu Bishvat, and I want to explain to you a little piece about what that means. It's the holiday that's known as the Rosh Hashanah of trees. But what does that mean, Rosh Hashanah of trees? Like the trees get together and celebrate and dip their apples in the honey. So what does this mean? So one of the takeaways, I think, or probably the lesson for us that's most meaningful, is that several places in the Torah, human beings are compared to trees. So for example, in Deuteronomy chapter 20, it says a person is like a tree of the field. So what does it mean when we think about human beings being like trees? Or I could say like this, what are the lessons that we can take from trees that we can apply to our own lives? So one thing I want to share with you is a famous quote in Pirkei Avot, in the Ethics of Our Fathers, and that is, it says, a person whose wisdom exceeds his good deeds. What is he similar to? He's similar to a tree whose branches are numerous and abundant, but whose roots are very few. Any wind can come and topple that tree right over. But a person whose good deeds exceeds their wisdom is likened to a tree whose branches are few, not so numerous, but the roots are abundant and powerful, and all the winds in the world cannot blow that tree and budge it one bit. So what's the lesson over here? You know, everybody, wisdom, let's say. Wisdom represents this idea of our outward accomplishments, what we're known for in the world, our persona, and our good deeds. That's the internal us. That's the essence of who we are. That's our goodness, our kindness. A person can have all the wisdom in the world. They could be the smartest person, the savviest person, the sharpest, coolest person, the most successful businessman. But if he's not a good person inside, if he's not concerned about other people, if kindness doesn't motivate him, then he's a tree who looks very impressive. The branches are massive and powerful and abundant, but there are no roots there. Nothing is holding that tree up. Anything can come and just knock it over. But if a person is rooted in good deeds and kindness, then even if their branches might not be so impressive, they might not be noticed, people might not look at them and think, oh, wow, what an impressive person. It doesn't matter. The Ethics of Our Father teaches us that that person is really powerful, and there's nothing that can budge him. There's nothing that can get him to move away or compromise on who he is or what his essence is. There's so many lessons that we can learn about trees, but one of the things that I want to share with you is a famous story in the Talmud. So there was an old man, and this old man was planting a carob tree. And a young person passed by and asked this old man, what are you planting? And the man said, I'm planting a carob tree. So the young man, the boy, said to this old man, you fool, you silly fool, don't you know? Aren't you aware that carob trees don't bear their first fruit for 70 years? You're not even going to be here to see this tree bear its fruit. And the old man said something that is so powerful. He said, it's okay. That's fine. Just as others planted trees for me, and I came into this world with trees, so too I shall plant for future generations. The tree represents planting for the future, thinking about future generations, thinking about a big, broad picture of where we want to be, not just now in ourselves and not just our children, but generations from now, and taking the steps and the necessary investment at this point in our lives to ensure the long-term productivity of future generations. There's a lot more you can talk about when it comes to trees. Think about it yourself. Maybe sit around and ask some friends or people, how can you compare human beings to trees? You know, one other thing that comes to mind, and I know I'm over my time, is that a tree, if a tree is flexible, if a tree can bend, then the winds can come and it won't break. But if a tree is inflexible and very strong and rigid, then it can be destroyed very easily. So we have to be flexible in our lives. We have to be open-minded. We have to hear the other side. We have to understand other people. Okay, enough. Plenty to talk about trees. Think about it yourself. Have a great day, and happy Tu Bishvat.